Hi everybody, it's Kim. Welcome back to my channel, Touch of Magic. Today is part of our monthly YouTube hop, and the theme is Everything Old is New Again. So I've decided to do a little twist on this, and I'm thinking of making it into a regular series. So let me know what you think in the comments. So first of all, if you're interested in the hop and you'd like to follow along and maybe even participate, reach out to Cecilia at Valley Oak Paper. She's our coordinator and can give you all the details. My idea is I'm going to insert a photo of a card here up in the top corner. This is a card that I made in January of 2020. And what I'm going to do here is do a kind of a review and a redo on this card, because in 5 years I've learned a lot of things and I've played with a lot of things and kind of just extended my knowledge and my skill base. At least I hope so. And when I made the card, I really liked it. I made it for my sister for her birthday, and I'm going to take the basic product, which is this stamp set here, and this is a collaboration between Hero Arts and Gina K Designs, and it's called Friendship Blooms. Now this is ages old. I doubt it's available anymore. 2019 is when this one came out. And as I said, you'll see the card in the corner for a little bit here of what I started with. And I'm going to just kind of talk for just a minute, so bear with me on what I like about this and what I'm going to do different today. So initially you can see that this card is a floral spray, and I used watercolor pencil crayons, which was all new to me. I used, oh boy, I'm looking at this and laughing at myself now. I didn't know how to fussy cut. This does not have dies. I didn't know how to work around that. The paper I was working on was just some stuff that I had handy. And I've learned about paper, and I've learned about what works with what kind of technique. And for watercolor pencils, regular, 100-pound paper isn't necessarily the right choice to work with. So I'm going to tweak it today, and I'm going to take what I like about this design. I like the color palette. I love the stamp set. Celebrate's never a bad thing, although I might change up the sentiment and use something from the stamp set itself this time. I don't love the torn paper look on on around the card. I think I did that because something tore and I just kind of went with it. I don't know. Paste through the stencil that I used was not great. As you can see, it's splotchy. It went under the edges. But at the time I was really happy with what I made, and even looking at it now, I can see where it had potential. And I'm going to take that and tweak it and redo it like I would do it today using the basic stamp set. I don't know that I'm going to use anything else. I am still doing a 5x7 card. So let me show you where that starts. I have already stamped out and heat embossed 2 panels because I wasn't sure which technique I was going to go with. And I have one more panel cut that I'm going to do a little different idea and roll with it. It's a technique from a Hero Arts class from a little bit ago. And I thought it might be 2 nice ways to show the differences. So as I said, I stamped this in a black pigment ink. I heat embossed it with clear powder. I did that in advance because I don't have a multi-camera system for heat embossing and stuff. So I'm just going to roll with it. And my first thought, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. So I've got a selection of oxides, I've got wilted violet, I've got picked raspberry, festive berries, spun sugar, salvaged patina, and mowed lawn. And I also have some Hero Arts liquid watercolors. This is the dandelion. I've got pink, purple, teal, and strawberry. So that's going to be my second technique that I'm going to try. I'm not sure what colors I'm using. So for this one, these are on Canson XL watercolor paper. So I believe it's check my thing here, 140-pound watercolor paper. Sometimes it really matters that you use the right paper for the right product. I've just got a basic brush here, and I'm going to just smoosh because, smooshing is fun. And I'm just going to paint. Oxides are great for this. You can have fun with it. I wasn't sure if the spun sugar was going to be too light, so that's why I've got the other colors kind of sitting there. I am not a great watercolorist, but I'm just going to have fun with it because that's what this is all about. I like a wet on wet technique. So I'm going to color in the one floral there, and I'm going to pick up just a little here and drop it in. The nice part of this kind of technique is it doesn't matter if you go outside the lines. I'm going to spray it all when I'm done and make it move more. And just drop it in and squish it around and see where it goes when it dries. A little bowl of water here. Well-loved microfiber. Let's pick. I'm not doing a ton of coloring, so I wasn't worried about having one bowl of water. I don't need a clean and a dirty. I'm not doing a lot. I'll try with the spun sugar and see what we get. If we get enough color here, I think it's going to be too pale. It's not bad, really light. So I think I'm going to try some picked raspberry, which is quite the contrast, but that's okay. I like bright and vibrant, which is what this original card had. Very bright, very vibrant. Push it over top. I'm painting, but you can leave white spots. It does not need to be perfect here. I'm doing separate ones. Nothing's touching, so I don't have to worry about them really bleeding into each other. Great. I still use those same watercolor pencil crayons that I bought in 2020. They were just a kind of a no-name brand, to be honest. I still have them and I still use them. But I actually prefer this kind of painting. I find that I like having just a little more control than I'm not a great colorist. It's not my forte, but I do try and I have fun. And really, isn't that what crafting is all about? So again, I'm doing a wet on wet technique. I am putting the colors in, letting them just kind of float. You could always mix and match, add some depth here around the edges. Blend your colors. They're all harmonic, so they will blend together. You can get variations. They are really side by side on a color wheel, so they would all blend in okay together. Alrighty, so I'm going to let that dry just for 1 second over here. Now, with this one, my original thought was to spray it again and let the colors run. So that's what I'm going to do here. Everything's kind of set a little, and I've just got my mister bottle from the Crop and Create event. Love this, Spellbinders. And just going to let them, because it's the beauty of oxides, is that they will move and they will do fun things. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to do a quick pick. So pick up a little bit of the color just to move it around and give it some. Now it's going to sit and dry for a minute. All right, panel number 2. So this is going to show you 2 variations of fun. I'm going to spritz up front, and I spritz the bat just so it sticks to my work surface here a little. And again, this is 100-pound watercolor. And I'm just going to take those same three kind of tones of color. And this is Hero Arts Liquid Watercolor. And I'm just going to drop. So one of the things they did at a class with Hero Arts, and you can see examples on my Instagram, is you do this with the blower. So you just drop some color and have at it. Sorry, my hand might be in the way there. I'm going to pick the next color, which I think will do the purple. And if I can see that it's a little dry, no, move that a little more. Oh, good, this one didn't plug up on me. 3. And I probably didn't even need such big drops, to be honest. These are very vibrant. So this is the strawberry, so the darker red. Little tiny drops. Those might be a little dry, so let's give it a... Oof, there we go. And again, because these are all beside each other on the color wheel, they're not going to make neutrals. What we say is muddy. This is something I often do, is I will take a blank piece and lay it over top and give it a second. And essentially I'm making a print of the one onto another. And lift. Now I've got the two panels. So this is where I'm going to pause, let things dry, see where it is and what I think. Okay, hang tight. All right, the panel is dry. I actually ended up taking the heat tool to it, so it's maybe you can usually tell if it's cool, it's still wet. So I think we're okay. It's a little because I made the print, it's a little more subtle than I originally had thought. So I'm thinking of trying to add just some select spots of color, kind of controlled chaos, if you will. So I'm thinking a little more of the purple because that really washed out. Let's see what we get here. So I'm just touching a tiny bit to the water I put on the page. See if it will add a little more of the intent of the color palette. Again, just an easy blower bulb, nothing. You could do this with a straw, you could blow on it. There's all kinds of options. I think I'm gonna touch a little to my glass mat here. I'm gonna take the brush, maybe a little less organic, but let's see if we can't. Again, I'm just trying to get a balance of the colors. And you know how we are as creatives, we don't overthink just all the things, do we? Or is that just me? Just me that overthinks everything? Probably just me. Okay. That one I'm just going to let dry naturally now. I'm going to move back to this one. I'm very happy with how this is dried. It's got a little variation in color. And I think I'm going to leave it just as is. One of the things that I really love for 5x7 cards is the Gina K Master Layouts 8. These are great for cutting sizes. So I'm going to see if, in fact, that will get most of, oh, it will. It'll get most of what I want in there. Now, this card panel was originally cut to 5x7, the watercolor panel. But I'm going to take this over to my die machine. I've just got some low tack tape here. I'm not using a magnetic plate. Mine is just a Sizzix, the hand crank kind. And I'm going to run that through, and it gets the bulk. It's going to get a couple of little pieces, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to run this through and I'll be right back. I love this set because it has the, I'm hoping the detail picks up here. You get the nice stitched edge on the panel, and then I will cut I think a black layer, because it'll pick up the embossing here. And because this was watercolored, I want to probably use a double-sided adhesive to keep that down nice and firm, or maybe liquid glue. Let's do liquid. Liquid glue is probably my go-to. It's what I use the most. And it's very forgiving. It allows you a moment or two to line up so you can make sure everything is straight, which is really hard to do on camera because I can't get my head in the way. And then I take a heavy block, set it on there for a minute to dry. Alrighty, I hit this one with the heat tool, make sure that it's good and dry. And then I've already got my stamp in here from before. I think I tuck that down in the corner. A little warpy, so it does make it a tad. I think, oh yes, 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 yes. I'm going to like that. Okay, so I'm going to hit this with some powder tool. Got my Tailored Expressions one here. As I'm going to heat emboss. Okay, so I'm going to take some black pigment ink. I have some VersaFine, and I'm going to ink this up. It's a big stamp, so it might take one or two, or two or three, I suppose, to get a decent coverage on watercolor paper, because the paper has more tooth. It's got texture to it. Use my little pressure tool my hubby made me. It's just it's a great wood block, just some foam pads on the bottom. Just helps with even pressure, less painful on the hands. All right, so this is going to, as you can see, need a couple of layers here just to get a decent coverage. I don't want to go too hard because I don't want the lines to really splay. Let's do this with my hand instead. That's better. Press and hold for a second, let the ink transfer. I will set that off to the side. I will clean my stamp after.
Hi, welcome to the voiceover part of today's video. Apparently my mic died while filming, so we are switching gears here. What I'm explaining here at this last part is that with this panel you have a couple of options. You can leave it as is, which is what I've done, or you can choose to highlight those flowers using the color palette underneath and really making those pop off the page if you want something a little more bold. I chose to just leave it as is. What I'm going to do here is insert some of the finished pictures of these two cards plus the original one, and they're going to rotate through. First you'll see the original, then you'll see the two follow-ups. I kept them both simple. They both ended up still 5x7, and I went landscape with them instead of portrait like the original one. It just seemed to suit the sentiments better, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Thank you for being here today. I do appreciate your time and your encouragement and the lovely comments that people leave. It means a lot to me. I hope you found something inspirational, instructional, maybe something you haven't tried and you're going to do that now. If you do, please tag me on social media. I love to see what somebody's made if I've inspired you to do so. I will leave links in the comment below for everybody in the hop. Again, thank you for being here today. Please thumbs up if you haven't already, and if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again.